record on this computer? Yes, I think I'm recording now. Yes, I am. Okay, so session 10, let's fire away. So yesterday, can we all stay muted, please? So yesterday, let me mute somebody. I need to mute somebody. Yesterday okay, that's better. Yesterday we did cover product discovery, design thinking. We looked at some use cases, even though we didn't actually draw any. And we really spent a lot of time generating our epics. And in the process of doing all of that, I mean, some of us are stakeholders. We're already engaging with stakeholders, but I'm going to directly show you how to engage with stakeholders in terms of, knowing who to contact, who needs to be available, who needs to be informed, who needs to be consulted. We'll do that much later because it is very important. Because when you want to engage stakeholders, you need to know who the critical stakeholders are. Product roadmap, we're going to do more of that today. Release roadmap, hopefully, and then we're actually going to create our project, create our backlog, create our sprint. We're doing all of that today because we really need to kick off our sprint. So which means we're going to look at personas. We already looked at the high level use case. We're going to populate the backlog. We're going to estimate our stories. And we're going to look at definition of done as part of our acceptance criteria. And most importantly, we're going to assign epics to people. Because this is a training environment, I want everybody to have some responsibility and actually do something. And of course, again, we're going to put our epics into like quarters to say in this quarter, that quarter, this is what we're going to be releasing. This is our sprint timeline. So this is what I'm going to use when we start doing the, so let me take a picture of it. This is what we're going to use when we start creating our sprints. Let me just have that to hand. Take a picture of it. Make it easy for me. We're going to be running 6 sprints. Right, so what I want you to do is to have a look at your name and just remember the number that you are. So Tunde, you are number 1, Digi, you are number 2, etc., etc., etc. Maybe I should take a picture of this also so that when other people come in, I can give them their number. So remember this number because after we finished yesterday, I created some more stories because I want to make sure everybody has a story. So I added to the stories. Right, every sprint has a sprint goal. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the epics we created yesterday. We will then decide what our goal will be for this sprint, and we begin to populate the tool. So I'm going to come out of here. Oops. I'm going to come out of here and then share the epic so you can see the changes I've made.
With me, or your line is breaking? Everybody else.
Oh, really? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, so I'm trying to share my screen again so I can share the epics we used yesterday. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen again. Now, this is what I've done to make life easy for us. Because remember, we are more concerned about the process. So what I've done is I've numbered the user stories. And I have made sure that we have 12 user stories because there are 12 of us here. I then created one more Gherkin syntax, as you can see here. I created one more Gherkin syntax for story number 2. So if you are number 1, so someone like Mr. Tina, number 1, this is your story, okay? And so on and so forth. So I've created 12 stories, well spaced out, so that we can just do a copy and paste. So this is our story. Now, if I go to the LBU artifact, later on, maybe when more people join us, and after we have populated the tool, if we have time, we'll do it. If we don't have time, we'll leave it till next week, okay? I want us to work on personas. So we'll do that next week. Most likely we won't have time to do it today. Now, what I did was I went to look for a use case diagram. And based on the use case diagram, I was able to get more user stories. Because as we started yesterday looking at the login and the sign up, we could have created a use case diagram first. I want you to bear that in mind. Part of our process yesterday could well have been that we created a use case diagram for our scenario, but we don't have the time to do that, okay? And that was why I said, give me a landing page in your own time. Just draw a landing page. Let us simulate what happens in real life, and then we can put it in our team space. So looking at this use case, I was able to come up with like 6 user stories. I came up with subscription. You know, now you must give people the ability to unsubscribe, okay? You must pay attention to GDPR. You should be able to close somebody's account. You should be able to move somebody's account from active to non-active to, you know, to inactive. So I was able to generate some stories. So that is done. And in this particular document, we have all our artifacts. So if I go up here, as you can see, LBU development artifacts, and all the landing page diagrams that was sent to me, they are all located here. So everything to do with this LBU project with regards to artifacts will be here, okay? So that we know where all the diagrams are. And of course, this is our team information. And I have assigned roles to people. Tunde Tabi, you're a stakeholder. Deji Adekoya, you're a business analyst. Sylvia, I don't know if she's here yet. She's, let me see, she here because, is Sylvia here yet? Okay, Sylvia is not here yet. Sylvia is the quality assurance. Grace Shaba, you are the product owner. Henry, you are the user experience. Donald Delekuku, Shola Bankole, developers. Undu Diabili, you are a Scrum Master. I am a stakeholder. Felicia is a stakeholder. And Franca, we have given you your expertise, test and release manager. That's what you are, okay? So let's bear that in mind. So now let me share my screen again and bring up the tool. Stop sharing, share again. Now, this is the part where the real work starts. I hope you can all see my screen. So the first thing we're going to do is create the project. Can you see the tool? I'm sharing the tool right now.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, good. I'm just sending a message to Sylvia. I really don't want people to miss this, but I'm sure she will join once she can. Okay, so now with this tool, let me minimize this. Now with this tool, in order to start using it, I'm going to pay for it in 4 days time. It doesn't stop us doing what we're doing today. I just wanted to use my free part. I would go to admin. So if I click on admin, you would see company admin and demo project admin. I'm going to go to company admin. While in company admin, I click on projects. And as you can see, it says add project. I already created 2 projects there just to play around with it. And once I pay for it, everybody will be able to create a project so that you can play around the tool to become more familiar with it. Because the good thing about these tools is that once you can use one, you can use them all. So I'm going to click add a project. Now, what kind of project do we want? We want a Scrum project. It says 1 to 4 weeks, but we are doing 2-week sprint. So I've highlighted the Scrum project and I'm going to click on next. It's quite intuitive. This is easy. So what do we want to call the project? Shall we call it London Bridge University? Or just LBU?
Just call it LBU.
LBU. And then the description, I would say a website, yeah, for LBU. Okay. Now, when is this project going to start? It's going to start tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is Monday the 3rd. So I'm going to select Monday the 3rd. When is it going to end? It's going to end in exactly 2 weeks. So if August the 3rd, so that means
Is this for the project or for the sprint?
For the sprint, but it tells you project.
Okay, all right, that's why I want to share.
It tells you, oh, hold on a minute. No, thank you.
No,
Thank you, Franca.
yeah, right.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding me.
Sorry,
We're
I
at
didn't hear
project
that.
level. So let me see that picture I took. That picture I took, I said, that picture I took was to help me with the date. So the date
So
of
the sprint would have been duration, the
October
last was October
23.
23. Yeah.
October 23. So let me go to, okay, there you go. October 23 is when our, yeah?
Yeah.
That's when that's going to end. Yep, that's it. What's the status? The status is, the status doesn't actually matter here at the moment because we haven't even started. So I'll just leave that. It's not important. Okay. Now it's talking about category here. There's no need for that. So I'm going to save this right now. Okay. So once I save it, we have a project called LBU.
So just for learning purposes,
Yeah.
what does that category refer to?
We'll figure that out as we go along. I think that has to do with your project planning. So for example, which category of project is this? It could be finance, it could be HR, it could be anything.
Yeah, even for IT, it could be infrastructure, it could be
infrastructure.
One, it could be anything. Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't want to bother about that. So I have created the project. As you can see, it says Marilani and the administrator. It's now saying team 1. I now have to assign a team to this. Can you mute yourself, please, when you're not talking? I need to assign a team to this project. So here I'm going to go, as you can see, it's, let me click on this. I created a team called Phoenix. I created a team called Phoenix. Let me see if that is showing anywhere here. It is not. Okay, I'm not going to bother about it right now because I had created a team called Phoenix and I was supposed to just be able to assign Phoenix to a project to make life easy for myself. So I'm not always, so why is it coming as team 1? Assign team members. Okay, I'm going to continue because you can assign team members anytime because I already created a team called Phoenix. So let me go back to the tool. So now I'm going to go to the tool. Now going to the tool, you can see if I click on this arrow here, we can see our LBU project now. Before I had 2 projects, now we have 3. So this is my LBU project. So if I click on that, it puts me in the space for the LBU project. So this is my space for the LBU project. As you can see, it is LBU showing there. If I wanted to move to another project, I'll just click that arrow and choose another project. So we are in the LBU space. What do I need to do now? We want to populate our product backlog, isn't it? We want to populate our product backlog. So all I need to do is click on backlog. Click on backlog and then click on product backlog. So if I do that, it takes me to product backlog. Takes me to product backlog. And as you can see, it is empty. It is totally empty. Now, let me go to our document where we have where we had done all our brainstorming. So I'm going to go to the document now. Let me know if you can see the document. I just changed my screen. Or do I have to?
Yes, we can.
Okay, fantastic. So let me go to the top of the document. Now, the first epic we're going to work on is called sign in. That's the first epic we're going to work on. So if I go back to the product backlog, I'm going to say add story. Add story. And I know that the story I want to add now is an epic. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to click on epic. Okay. What is the name of the epic? Sign in. Yeah, that's the name of the epic. Sign in. And I'm going to save it. The moment I save it, as you can see, it's showing up there as an epic already. It is showing up as an epic. If I click on the backlog by itself, click on product backlog, that's what you will see, the epic I just created. Now, when I created this epic, I did not create it in the detail format, okay? I didn't create it in the detail format. So I can double click on it to bring out the detail of this epic. Okay, there you go. So now that I've clicked on it, it has given me a template to add more information for this epic. Okay, so you remember the question we had when we had the demo? Maybe when I pay for it, it will then give me the cumulative number of the epic. We don't know yet. So I'm not going to size this epic. I'm going to leave that part. Okay. But however, I'm going to give the description of this epic. I'll say this is an an account creation epic. This is an account creation epic, under which we will have more stories. Several stories for user account creation. Okay, so I've put something in there. What is the acceptance criteria? Okay, let me put something like a user can create an account. A user can create an account. Okay, now what sprint, in which sprint are we going to deliver this epic? I think it's fair to say sprint 1. Sprint 1. Sprint 1. Which team is going to deliver this epic? It's going to be Phoenix. I don't know why Phoenix is not showing here. So no problem. I will come back to that. So once I leave here, and I'm going to create and we're going to assign it to Phoenix. Okay, no problem. I'm going to save this. I'm going to come out and I'm going to come back to it. So I'm going to save it. As you can see, there are other informations that can come in here. You can tag it. So take, for example, you want to tag this epic to a certain information that you have somewhere. You can do that. And if we were going by hours estimation, we can also do that, but we don't need all that detail of information right now. So I'm going to save it. As you can see, it gives you feedback straight away that it is saved. So what I want to do now is go back to admin, go back to company admin. No, let me go to LBU admin. Let me go back to school, go back to tool. If you click on admin, now you can see the LBU admin for this project. If I click on that, I should be able to then create, now I'm going to assign team members. So if I, which is where I am right now, I'm going to add a team. Now I'm going to call this team Phoenix. Yeah, I spelled that correctly. I'm going to call this team Phoenix. I'm going to save it. And as you can see, I now have a team called Phoenix. So what I want to do now is assign people to Phoenix. Donald, Henry, Felicia, Grace, Dele, Donald, Mary, Tunde Tabi, Sylvia Berkel, Ndudi. Okay, so now if I scroll down, as you can see, I've created a team called Phoenix and I have assigned everybody to it, I hope. 1, 2.
I don't think you've assigned me.
I did, Franca.
No, you didn't. You
Oh, you were right. Your eyes are sharp, oh. Your eyes are sharp, man. And as you can see, it has identified me as a user with administrator privilege, okay? Okay, so now that I've done this, I'm going to save it. I'm going to, oh, hold on. I called it Phoenix now, so why is he asking again? I already called it Phoenix. What is it that team name is required? I called it Phoenix already, but let me just give it a name again. Oh, I didn't even spell that correctly. Okay, created another one. I didn't want another one, so let me delete that. Delete, which was what I thought because I already did the first one. Okay, so let me go back to the tool. So go back to the tool. Go back to the tool, go to the product backlog. I hope I'm not going too fast though. Go to the product backlog. Again, go back to the epic we just created. Open it up. Now what I want to do is I want to go to assign and then assign. Okay, let me assign team, Phoenix. I'll just assign it to the team. Let's forget individuals for now. So now that I've assigned it to the team, we're going to test it out, because the way these things should work is if I've created a team and I've assigned people to that team, I shouldn't now have to do it individually. That should be how the tool is supposed to work, but we'll find out if it's not working that way. So I'm going to save and close and come out of here. And then what I want to do now is to go back to this place here and pick Mr. T's story. So Mr. T is number 1. Let me share, now that we have a full house, because some people were not here when we shared the numbers, when we showed the numbers. So let me quickly show you the numbers so that you know what your number is. Share screen. So I'm going to show you a table now, and please, you need to memorize your number. So on this table, you have a number. Can you please take note of your number so I can go back to our tool? I believe we've done that already, so I'm going to get out of here. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing again and reshare the story table. Okay, so what I want to do now is copy Mr. T's story, because Mr. T is number 1. So I'm going to copy his story. Copied. Copy. Oops. Copy. Yep. So his story is copied. Now I'm going to the tool. Now I'm going to say add story, or I can, there's another way to do this. Let me make my thing smaller. I can click on this. Let me go to add story. I want to create it under this. The other day it was showing under this. Why can't I see? Let me click on it. No, I know what to do. Cancel. Epic. No, let me come out. I was able to do this with my other project. I was able to create a story directly under the epic. So why?
When you click the epic, isn't it supposed to give you the options and to be able to select create a story?
I can create a story on its own, but I want to link it to this epic. There's another way I can do it, but I was expecting that when I click, there's another way to do it.
Yeah, no, you should be able to, because when you look in real life scenarios, you could have like thousands of epic. So you shouldn't then be looking for it. When you click one, you should be able to link it together. So maybe there is an option you are missing somewhere.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, no problem. Let me go and just say add a story. So let me do add a story, and then let me try and link it to, give me 1 second. I would have preferred to do it the way I was thinking, because I actually did it before. I did it before with the test projects I created. Add a story. Okay. Let me paste Mr. T's story here.
Yeah, because it should be a subset.
Yeah, that was what I
epic.
was. That was no. It doesn't always have to be a subset. It can be a standalone, but I don't want it to be a standalone. This
Yeah,
is
it
a
should
story. Yeah, I don't want it to be a standalone. You remember when we were doing the addition of the stories? They were under the epics, and
Yeah, that's how it should be. Yeah, it should
so
be. You should be able to say on that drop down button.
Okay,
you
but
should be
what I
able
will
to
do
see
is
story.
I'll link it here. I'll link it here. So I'll say parent.
Yeah, that's another way.
That should be another way.
It's a child. A story is a child, though.
It's so annoying when you've done something, when you've tested it, it's worked fine, and then just bear with me.
Mary, you've created the epic. You want to add the story. Don't you need to, maybe you need to create the PBI for it rather than just go from epic to story. Maybe you need to do that.
Let me click story. It's okay. Let me just go for create right now. So you successfully created. Okay. Save and close. Okay. Okay, as you can see, it has created an epic and it has created a story. But I didn't want the story to stand alone. I wanted the story to be within this epic. That was what I wanted. And
yeah, it should be a child to the parent epic.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. And I can't see that child part. I can't see that part where I could create the story to link it directly to the epic. Let me make my screen smaller. Just bear with me. Let me make my screen.
When you click the E to the end on
I'm
that line where it says the code.
Sorry, I need to make it bigger. This is so small. I'm just trying to see whether there's something I'm not seeing. That is it. I think.
Did you right click it?
I did a right click.
Yeah, because if you right click, you can do it too.
This is an epic. Interesting stuff. Okay.
Try the 3 dots at the top and see what.
Where is it? Where's the 3 dots?
Go back before to the screen you were just now.
Where was I just now? I was in the
click
story.
On the epic. Yeah,
I was in
click
the
on
epic.
Click on the epic.
I did all these things with my test story.
I can imagine sometimes these things. Okay.
Where's the 3 dots?
So at the top, where you can close between the settings, right click and let's see what the options there.
No, copy user story. So it was somewhere here I did it. This is so strange. Okay, no problem. Let's not dwell too much on it. In that case, I'm just going to continue creating the stories and then I'll find a way to link it later. But I actually created an epic and I was able to create all my stories under the epic. That was what I did. But since I can't do that here, let's not burn too much time on it. It's okay. It's no big deal. I'm just surprised that I did it before and I can't do it now, but I'll figure it out.
But you've just done it. You've just done it for signing. That's a story under epic signing.
No, it's not. I can move it. It's not.
Oh, it's not.
Independent.
Okay.
It's not. That's what I meant. Yeah. Okay.
All
So
right.
let me go back and pick everybody's story. Actually, I don't need to pick everybody's. Okay. Yes, I have to pick everybody's story. So let me pick story number 2. Or do you guys want to do it yourself so that you can have a go? So story number 2, I just want to make sure I'm picking everything. You're going to have the chance to create your task anyway. So let me just get on with it. So story number 2, copy, go here and add it. And then can you see that it is given serial number? Can you see that? When I created the epic, it called it number 1. When I created the first story, it called it story 2. Okay?
Yeah, which shouldn't be the case.
No, that should be the case. No, that's what it does. Sorry, it called it number 1 and number 2. It gives it sequential numbers. That's what it does.
Yeah, but they're not the same thing.
It doesn't matter. That is how the tools work. Even Jira, you create anything, it gives it the next number. You create a bug, it gives it the next number, as long as it is the same project.
Yes, it's the same with ServiceNow and TFS as
yes,
well.
It will always pick the next number. It doesn't matter whether you are creating a story or an epic or a bug. So just take note of that. So I've just added Mr. T's story. So I'm going to, the second story. So I'm going to click save. So this is going to be a bit boring because I have to go back and forth and copy everything. So that was number 2. Because this is where we really need to now start acting on the tool. So I'm going to paste that. That's also a story 3.
So can we, it says TP something extension on the side.
Yeah, on the side, if you click those, would it give you the option to have that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No, this is the
that shows is the parents or the other one.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Because the epic is a different.
No, this is priority.
Priority. Okay, all right.
Priority. But
The
I can
T,
link
what is the
stories.
what is the T?
The T is type. Type.
Okay.
And this is estimation. This is the estimation, the points that you are going to add to it. I don't want to do that. I want you guys to do all of that. So don't worry. There's always a way to link stories and epic. Don't even worry about it. I was just finding the easiest way out.
Just to let you know, when I received my link and I went in, it said that I need to get the full thing. So I don't think I can actually.
Everybody will have it. Don't worry. Even if I have to pay today, I'll pay today. So don't worry about that. So let me just copy the stories now and just, let me just create all the stories. So I'm going to add the next story. Save it. I need to do this 12 times. This is boring. Maybe I should have done it before you guys came. But I wanted to let everybody see how to create the project.
Okay, but does it allow multiple users to log in onto that?
I believe so, yes.
Maybe somebody else can log in and be doing it from the bottom.
Because we're just using it, so don't worry. It's boring, but just bear with me. Another few minutes, I'll be done. Okay. And then I just did 5. So let me go to 6. We have just 12 stories. Oops. Story 6. I wanted us to go through this together. I created a dummy project and I just played around the tool, looked at all the gadgets. That was 7, right? I think yes. Nine. Ten. Finally, we have 12. So you need to remember what your stories are, the stories that belong to you. So finally, we have 12 stories. So as you can see, we have populated the product backlog. We have populated the product backlog. We have one epic. I would have loved my screen to show the full. Let me reduce my screen by. I still can't see it, so there's no point. Okay. Okay, so we have now populated our product backlog with our epic, which is the signing, and all our stories. So as you can see, we have 13 issues here. I'm still going to figure out how to do that. I have, however, not estimated this story. So let's go on now and create the sprint backlog. So if I click on sprint planning, what you will see is that the sprint, the screen is split into 2. So what is happening here now is that we have the product backlog on the left-hand side, but there is nothing on the right-hand side yet. So now we are going to create the sprints. So add a sprint. So if I click on add sprint, what is the sprint name? Sprint 1. Sprint 1, that's the sprint name. When are we going to start it? I took the dates, took a picture of the date. We're going to start sprint 1 tomorrow, which is the 3rd of August. And it's going to end because we're doing 2 weeks, it's going to end on the 14th. So it's going to end on
Friday.
Is that Friday? This thing is covering the days. I can't see the dates.
Yeah.
What is Friday? Is Friday the 14th?
Friday.
Okay, Friday is
It's
14th.
14th.
Okay, so we're going to start tomorrow and we're going to end it on Friday the 14th. What is our sprint goal? Grace, you are the product owner. What do you think our sprint goal will be for this sprint?
I think we're going to create this signing. That the goal is to create the signing.
Yeah.
So such that people can successfully log into the system.
Yes, they can successfully log into the system, but it is slightly more than just the login. So you really need a landing page, isn't it? In order for us to be able to do the sign-in, we need a landing page, don't we? So which means when we go to WWLBU, whatever, we must get to a landing page. So I guess as a product owner, your goal for this sprint, do you see where I'm coming from? So
yes, it's to be able to go from the landing page to the sign-in page and access.
No, there's no landing page yet. So you must, part of your goal for this first sprint must have
to create a landing page. Okay.
It will be part of your goal because we are just starting. There's nothing yet. Nothing exists yet. Exactly. Nothing exists yet. And you remember you guys came up with sketches of a landing page. Okay. So part of the discussion of that discovery we were doing, everything we did yesterday, part of the discussion also would be, okay, what do we want the landing page to look like? Do you see where I'm coming from? Where do we want the logo to be?
Yeah.
Exactly, which is why you people came up with that, with the different ideas you came up with. But we're not going to bother scrutinizing them, but you get the idea. So landing page and ability to sign in. Is that a good goal?
Sounds good to me.
It sounds good to you?
Yes. Being a clueless product owner. Yeah.
Landing page and ability to create a user account. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So that is our goal for this sprint. I'm going to save it. Once I save it, it will now show me a template on the right-hand side. When we came here, there was nothing there. So if you go to the bottom, you can see it there. Where is it? Where is sprint 1? Okay, there you go. It's up there. Look at it, sprint 1. That's sprint 1. We have not added anything to sprint 1 just yet. Let us add a second sprint. We can create all the sprints right now if we wanted to. So I'll call this one sprint 2. So when will this one start? This one will then start August 17, right? Yes, August 17. And then it will end 28 because we're doing 2 weeks. Okay. And what might our goal be for this? I won't bother about that right now, but later we can think about what we think our goal should be for this and add that. So I'm going to save it again. And once I save that, we can then see that we have 2 sprint backlogs on this side. Oops. Okay.
Okay, so from the product backlog, which is this one on the left, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need to, what are we going to select to be able to get that?
Just 1 second. Why is it not showing me? I was expecting to see both the sprints I created.
You see sprint 1 and 2. It's only sprint 2 showing.
Exactly. So sprints. No active sprint. Yes. Upcoming sprint 2. Yeah. 2 upcoming sprint. Yeah. There you go. There you go. So I'm going to.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we're back. We're back in the game. So if I had created all the sprints, all I would need to do is click on that and it will show me all the sprints. But we are only concerned about sprint 1 right now. Now, you and I know that all these stories are going to be in sprint 1. But normally, when you have a backlog, all the things that we have on the Google Docs would be in this tool. But we all know that everything is not here yet. Do you see what I mean? So I don't want you to think that every time you have to empty your backlog into your sprint backlog. No. Okay?
No.
Exactly. So now we are not going to push anything into the sprint yet because we are not done yet at all. Now let me go to the backlog. Let me go to the product backlog, to the single view. Okay. So what I want you to do is, first of all, can somebody try and see if they have access to this? Mr. T, I know you have joined me on one of the dummy projects before. Mr. T, can you see if you have access, please? And then while you're doing that, let me bring up the story number 2, which is Mr. T's story. And you can move these stories about. Where is ST2? I can see 12. I can see 13. Where is 2? I can't see story 2.
On the bottom?
Looks like it's disappeared. It's not, it was there. I mean, it was the second one you created.
Because they're 13. Yeah. It's counted up to 13, so it must
Maybe
be there.
maybe I pasted on it. Maybe when I was doing cut and paste,
Right. Okay.
So in which case I will have to.
I think it's all in there.
You think so? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, it should be 13. So let me create one more. Add a story.
Right. Okay.
I think story number 2 is missing, which is story number 2, which was, let me see.
The very first one you created.
No, story number 1 is there, isn't it? I think it was.
Yeah, no. Story number 2 was the. You remember it gave you the serial number of 2, and
yes, because I was actually saying pointing it out.
Grace was
yes.
Yeah, but we can't see it anymore. Is my point.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
I know that should be story 1.
If you want to recreate it, use story 1.
No.
Okay, let's compare them.
Let me go back and see what story 1 and 2 is. Why is my voice echoing? Story 1 is
someone is using speaker. That's why. To listen to the not earphones.
Okay. As a prospective student, that's story 1. Then story 2 is avoid further communication. Let me see. So if I go to 1, as a student, I want to be able to unsubscribe. As a prospective student, okay, that's Mr. T's story.
Yeah, I've actually joined your.
Fantastic. So story number 2 is, as a student, I want to be able to unsubscribe. I can see that story there. As a student, I want to be able to unsubscribe. I can see it. It's there. So Mr. T's story, which is...
is it number 3? Is it number 3?
Yes. Yes. My number
so
2 is there.
That means that you missed something.
No.
Maybe you missed.
I think what is story number 1, which had the unique ID of ST2.
Yeah.
So that's 1. So 2 should be 3.
That actually should be 1, really.
So
but I can't change it. That's the point. It is generated by the 2.
I understand, but the story you are missing is the very first story for Mr. T.
Okay, which is okay.
My story says number 2 as a prospective
Mary,
student.
can you scroll down first?
Scroll down.
I can see my story.
No, go back to the document, please.
Okay, just this document.
Yes.
Okay.
So go back to the go back to story number 1. You have, as a prospective student, I want to be able to create an account. That is what we are missing.
Okay.
But it's here as story 2. I can see it as story 2.
No, go back. Go back to story 2. Go back to story 2.
Okay, please, can I say something?
Story 2 is missing.
Okay. No, story 1 is missing.
It's only story 1 that is missing, but it came out as story 2.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Okay, now we figured it out. So let me create it again. So add that. It's a story. Save. So now this will be the last story. So this will be story 14. As a prospective student, I want to be able to create an account so that I can view LBU
view
programs.
LBU
Okay,
programs.
so our stories are complete now. They are complete. Okay, so let me make it slightly bigger again. Oops, I made it smaller instead. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the backlog view, and then Mr. T, remember your story, and I want to show you what Mr. T will do with his story. Now, Mr. T's story is now, as you can see, the numbers have changed here because I have no control over the serial numbers that are generated by the tool. I have no control at all. So Mr. T, right here, your story is now 14. Can you see it? As a prospective student, I want to be able to create an account so that I can view LBU programs on offer on their website.
Well, I may have to refresh my page because I'm
yes,
actually
go ahead
on
and
the
refresh
tool.
it. Refresh it. Refresh your page so you can see what I've done so far. So don't worry about the serial numbers. As long as you know your stories, that's what you're going to work on. So I want to show us what is going to happen with each story at the task level. Are you there, Mr. T?
I'm trying to, I can't find the refresh button really.
The refresh button is usually at the top left-hand corner. It's like a circle with an arrow.
Circle with an arrow.
Yeah. At the top left-hand corner.
Or press F5.
Or press F5.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's next to the home icon. So if you refresh it, then go to the backlog and click on product backlog. Let us know when you're there.
All right.
Are you there?
Almost. Can I go ahead and do whatever I want to do as still as story 2?
No. Okay, come back to my screen. Let me do the demo. Come back to my screen. Come back to Zoom so that you are also seeing what everybody can see. Come back to Zoom. Are you back in Zoom?
Yeah.
Your story on this tool is now story 14. Can you see that?
Yeah.
That is your story.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm going to click on it. Okay, here we are. So now we have the detailed view of this story. This story belongs to Tunde Tabi. I'm going to select his name now. This story belongs to him. This story is going to be delivered in sprint 1. This story is being worked on by people in the Phoenix team. Okay, it looks like it's not allowing me to do that. Okay, I get it. Okay, that still works. Okay, I thought it was.
If I go back now, it could come up as story 14. If I go back to Quick Storm.
No. It will still be story 14. It doesn't matter how many times who looks at it. It will be story 14 because it is the tool is the one generating the number. Yeah. So this will now be to do.
Okay, I understand, but can you note a bug because that's story missing should be reported as a bug. We shouldn't be looking for stories while we're creating it. Otherwise,
no. I think I did, and maybe I did a cut and paste, over it. But it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal, and if it will not disturb us. Is what I'm trying to say. So while you are in this detailed view, you allocate the story to the sprint where this sprint is where this story is going to be worked on, the team, the person that is working on this story, and then you click on to do. Okay, because it's ready for sprint, you just click on to do. We are all going to click on to do for every single story that we put here. So we click on to do, and then what is the acceptance criteria for this story? If you remember, we did a Gherkin syntax for it. So I'm going to copy this Gherkin syntax. Copy the Gherkin syntax and put it here. Okay, that is our acceptance criteria for this story. What is the description?
Isn't that the Gherkin for story 1?
And now Mr. T's story is
story
1.
It has become 14.
But it's now story 14 in the tool, but it is story 1 in Google Docs.
Oh, I thought it was story 2. Okay.
Oh, no.
I thought it was story 2.
Okay, it's story 1. Okay, so Mr. T's story is story 1, and there's an associated Gherkin syntax, which is the acceptance criteria, and I've copied it and I've pasted in there. It's in here. Now, the description of the story, you can go further and give more description to say, okay, with this story, Of course, in real life, you are going to document everything as much as possible. But because we are testing, I don't want us to waste too much time documenting things. So with this story, users will create an account. Okay? So whatever needs to be there in reality, if this were truly a website building development that we're doing, we will definitely put it there. And once I'm happy with it, I close it. However, we need to estimate this story. Now, let us talk about...
It will appear as if the acceptance criteria, the one you copied from Google Docs, seems to have disappeared.
It hasn't disappeared. Look at it here. Look at it here. Look at it there. Given that I have created an account, when I log in, then I should have access to the LBU website. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what is the size of this story? This is now where we're talking about estimation. If you remember, I said, when we are doing this sprint... Hello?
Yeah.
Daddy, are you asking a question? Okay.
No. I was just going to say it's how long it takes to...
The effort, yes.
Complete the task. Yeah.
The effort it will take. Okay. Now, this is sprint planning we're doing right here. We're doing sprint planning right here. The product owner is giving us the items she wants us to work on from the product backlog. We are now saying we're going to work on this story called, this story that we have here. Now, the conversation going back and forth will then be, okay, everybody in the development team will now say, what do you think this story is? Somebody says it's a 5. Somebody says it's an 8. Then we begin to have a conversation back and forth, just like yesterday. And one thing I want you to know is when we are arguing about something, it is a good thing as long as we are not fighting each other, because that is what you're going to have out there. It's not a bad thing that we are arguing. I say it should be this, maybe you say it should be that. We must have a decent conversation and come to a conclusion. That's how this should work. Because when you go out there, you can't always agree with people and people will not always agree with you. But how do you then have a conversation and come to a consensus? That is what matters. So during this story elaboration, we are asking ourselves, okay, how big is this story? How much effort is this going to take? I say 3, somebody else says 5, somebody else says 1. When somebody says 1, let us assume there are 9, 10 of us. One person says 1. 7 people, no, if one person says 1, that leaves us with 8. One person says 1, and then 8 people say 5, and then one person says 8. We tend to call the person that says 1 an outlier. In other words, that person's estimation is too far from what everybody else is saying. And this is where you really need to have a conversation. Why are you saying 1? Everybody else is saying a 5. Because you just don't want to agree with the most experienced person in the room for that matter. So the conversation we have will now determine, we run another poker and then we run another poker, okay? Now there is a tool that we use to do poker. When we do our next sprint, we will use it. It's an online tool for poker, especially now that people are working remotely. But in real life, what we used to use was we actually use poker cards. That was what we did. So in this instance, we're not going to waste time deliberating here and there. That is it 8, is it 13, is it 14? We're not going to waste too much time. So what I want us to do is to, for all our stories, pick 1, 2, or 3. That's all I want you to do. But we're going to use the poker tool just so that you see how the poker tool works. We're going to use it next time. So for this story, I'm just going to go for a 3.
Excuse me, Mary.
Yes.
Just a quick question.
Please go ahead.
If I pick 1, for example, or 2 or 3, on what basis will I say 1 or 2? I don't want a situation where it will appear as if it's a guessing game. On what basis will I say 2 or 3 or choose any number really?
Okay, Mr. T, let me go back to your profession. You, as a marketer, give me one small work that you do, one small thing that you do as a marketer.
Well, I'm not a marketer per se. I work in market research.
Okay, in market research. Okay, and so give me one small item of work that you do in market research.
Well, I've been involved in organizing focus groups, like you mentioned yesterday.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Focus group is fine. So let us assume we are trying to size that piece of work called focus group. I then say, Mr. T, how much effort goes into this? This now takes us back to the oranges, to the basket of oranges. If you remember, I said if we say to fill up a basket of oranges 1 point, then that means if I say you should fill up 2 baskets of oranges, two baskets, then it will be 2 points. Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
If I then give you 3 baskets, it is 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
So the experience of the developers is at play here. So my experience as an orange picker is at play. When you bring 10 baskets to me, I will go back to the fact that it takes me 5 minutes to fill 1 basket. So now that you are telling me to fill 10 baskets, it's going to be what? 50 minutes. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That is exactly what is happening in the developing environment. As developers, we've been developing, we have an idea of how long roughly it takes us to code a login or a change password or a create an account. It is based on that and other things that needs to happen, because remember, we are also looking at the security behind these user stories. That is why everybody is together. We are all together trying to size this story, because QA will tell you, I need to do this. Tester will tell you, I need to do this. Developer will tell you, I need to do this. So if we are now sizing the story, somebody says 8 and somebody else says 2, it now gives us, it provokes a conversation. So when it provokes a conversation, the person that says 8 is then saying, it is 8 because we have to do the GDPR coding. It is 8 because, and then maybe the tester will now say, have you forgotten? The tester is now telling the person that said 2. Have you forgotten we also have to test it and that our test data is dirty? We have to clean the test data first. So the conversation you are having is based on knowledge of the work. Does that explain it to you, Mr. T?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so we're not just picking numbers out of the air. But guess what? If you remember the example again that I gave, that I said if you are going to your friend's house and you forgot that you needed to collect your prescription, now you have to reconsider that it cannot take you 15 minutes to get to your friend's house anymore, because you have to divert, collect your prescription, and that will add another 10 minutes to your journey.
Minutes, yeah.
Exactly. But how were you able to reprogram that journey? Because the person that overheard you said, have you forgotten that you have to collect your prescription? Something similar is what is happening here. So we are sizing these stories and we are having a conversation about the effort based on everything that needs to be done for that story. The tester is contributing, the developer is contributing, the user experience person is contributing. And based on that conversation, we come up with a size that we believe is reasonable as an effort for this story. So because we are in a learning environment, we don't need to exhaust our time arguing on any number. That's my point. I hope that makes sense. So we are just going to pick random numbers of 1, 2, or 3. That's all we are going to do. So for your story, just choose any number you like between 1, 2, and 3, because we're not going to bother ourselves with the conversations or trying to estimate correctly. I hope we understand why we are doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. So for my story, for this story, Mr. T story, I'm going to pick 3. Okay. I'm going to pick 3 and then I'm going to close. Why is the top part not showing? Okay. What's wrong with my screen today? I can't see the top part to close it. Okay, there you go. So now I'm going to close this story because we are not going to bother with estimation in hours. And it's saying no parent because, okay, now let me try this. Parent, create parent. Okay, can we see that? Can we see what happened here? Let me make it slightly bigger.
Yeah.
Let me make it slightly bigger. Okay, now I want to attach this story to a parent. So I'm going to click on parent and I'm going to go and pick that epic. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good. So I'm going to pick this epic. Okay. And I'm going to close it because right here it's saying choose parent. Now I've chosen the parent. So this was what I meant when I said we can do it later. So now this story is attached to that epic and I am going to close this story. I'm going to close this story and then I'm going to go back to the backlog. Let me see what it looks like on the product backlog now. So if we go to that epic, it should be, oh, my screen is really messing up. I can't see everything at once.
Sorry, Mary, I noticed when you had the parents, he didn't show, I mean, okay, the plus sign changed to enable, but we didn't actually see it. So
I can't see the epic. I can't see the epic now.
No,
it's
no,
not
yeah,
here.
it's not there, but go into the story 14 that we were talking about. Looking at story, yeah.
It's coming up.
So the parents is not showing as attached. Where do you see it? Because to me,
but it's got a sign plus, which already means it's been attached.
Yeah, but
hold
that
on.
doesn't.
Oh, okay. I know what happened.
You didn't click save there. That's why. So
yeah, that's
show.
it. That was what I was looking for. It didn't click save. So let me go. Let me close here, and then let me go to the sprint backlog, the product
Thank
backlog.
you for that. Yeah.
Let me go to the product backlog. So go back to the product backlog. And then my screen is not showing me everything, which I have. Now, can you see this plus sign here now? Can you see it? For the epic.
Can you also see that we have the 2 now?
Yes,
can you see?
you can see.
Yes, I can see the 2 now.
That 2 was under the epic. I said
Thank you, Dele. Thank you. So there you go. We can delete one story anyway. It doesn't matter. I'm trying. So if I click on the plus sign, can you see?
That two is story 1. Why are we deleting it?
We will just no. If any story is duplicated, we will delete it. Is all I'm saying. If I have made a mistake and created it twice, we will
okay, but I don't think you have.
Okay, we'll see. Okay, so as you can see now, the story, Mr. T's story, is now under Epic 1. So when we start looking at the detail of every story, we will link it to Epic 1. I hope that has made sense so far.
Yeah.
I hope that has made sense so far. So now we can link
but
this
they haven't actually made it easy, because you could have just created parent-child at the beginning.
Maybe it was my fault. Maybe I didn't do it properly. You know, I said I got it right before, because I know I did it the right way before. I've gone the long way around, but never mind. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay. So
what does the T up there stand for?
Type.
Okay. And the P.
Priority. Type, priority, estimate. Okay. So if I expand the epic and I scroll to the right, you can see that your name is showing.
Yeah.
Your name is showing. The 3 points we allocated is showing. Can you see that? The 3 points we allocated is showing. So the moment we size all the stories, it will begin to show. Okay. So that's what's going to happen. So let me go back to Mr. T's story. Let's finish with one story. We can also create tasks when we are in the sprint backlog, but we're going to create it here. So can you see task 1?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm clicking on task 1 now. And it then brings up this box here. It's called it TK14 because it's taking the next, what do you call it now? The next serial number. Okay. If you click on these 3 dots, let's see what that is. You can edit it, you can duplicate it, you can move it. Okay. So task 1, it says add task or issue. So I'm going to call that task 1. That's what I'm going to call it. Okay. Task 1. Tunde Tabi. We're not going to bother with estimating at all. Don't even bother with that. So task 1, I'm going to say save. Add another task. Add another task. I'm going to call this task. Oh, hold on. It is giving me a task number already. It is giving me task 14, task 15. So I won't bother with the name. I'll just put your name there. I'll put TT. That's what I'm going to do. So I'll change that one.
That's task 14.
No, this is task 15 now, is it? Let me save it. Let me save it. Once I save it, we'll see. Save. You see that? That's 16. So I'm going to go back to this one. And what happens is it automatically creates task 14 with the user story name on it. That is what it does. So this one here, I'm going to change it. I'm going to change this one. It should come up.
Well, there's an option to delete, though.
Yes, you can delete if you want, but I don't want to
Rename.
delete. Yeah, you can rename it. I don't want to delete it. It doesn't matter that it's task 1. Mr. T's name is there. So I'm going to add 5 tasks for everybody. So I'm just going to put TT here again and save.
Okay.
And then I'll put TT here again and save. That makes it 5 stories for Mr. T. Is that correct? Yes. So I'm going to close this. Let us then.
I would refer to this as subtasks.
They are tasks, not subtasks. They are tasks.
Okay.
They are tasks. Okay. So let me show you what this looks like. I'm dealing with just one story, and then you can see what this looks like when we go to the sprint planning. Okay. So Mr. T's story, what number was it again? It was 14, wasn't it?
14, yeah.
Where is it?
Come down. Third to the last. As a prospective student on the general person.
That's 4, that's 8, that's 9. It's like my screen is not showing everything. My screen is the problem.
But it's showing here, really.
Okay, there you go. No, that's not the right scrolling. Can you see it? I can't see it. And I've made my screen smaller, but I still can't.
It's at the bottom, isn't it?
I can see 2 here. I can see 3.
Shouldn't. Okay.
I thought we called it 14.
Wow.
Let me make it bigger. I can hardly see. If you know how easy this was when I was doing it on my own. 12, 11, 13, 14. Can't see 14. I created a task. Let me go to this.
Because you put the 14 under the epic.
Yes, I did, but we can't see the epic.
That's the epic now.
I can see it now.
Sign in.
I can see the epic now. But why couldn't I see it when I went into a different screen is my point. Why did I not see it? If this thing is going to give us problem, maybe I'll create another project to experiment with it. Because ideally, let me expand it. Ideally, that shouldn't be the case. That should not be the case. I should be able to expand it and see it. Do you see what I mean? I can see it now. There it is right now. And yeah, I can. Can you see it now? It's there.
Yeah.
But when I now go into sprint planning screen,
it disappears.
But I have a feeling it is dead to do, just like all stories to do.
Should I go on to my own quick stop to see if I will be able to see it?
Yeah, go ahead and see to do. Yeah, it's all to do now. All stories.
I'm just wondering why he didn't have why you can't just move it by putting your cursor on it and moving it into the story.
No, but I've linked it. I've linked it to the epic.
I understand that. I'm just saying that all these multiple screens is rather clunky.
Yeah.
You could easily have created.
Sorry, there was somebody at my door, so I missed the last 3 minutes.
We haven't really done anything.
What are we trying to do?
We're trying to move the. Okay, do you know what? Let me remove the epic from the. Let me remove the link. Okay. So let me go back to the product backlog so that this thing doesn't hold us up. Let me go back to the product backlog. Let me go into that story and remove the parents. Yeah. I want to remove the parents so that we can move on.
You didn't do it. You didn't actually do it. They prompted you to do it. The system prompted you to do it. It's not very robust.
I'm clicking on story 14 now, and I want to. I couldn't have dragged it. I could
Hold
have.
on.
That's what I'm saying. You should have been able to drag it.
You should have been able to drag and drop stories into Epic.
Yes. And
I will try it. We'll try it. Let me go back. Let's see if we can drag it.
I guess it's the same thing. It's the same thing with me here.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see story 14.
Okay, no problem. Let me go back. Let me forget this epic matter so that we can move on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this story 14 and drag it up here. It's not allowing me because I have linked it. Can you see that? So, which is why I need to click on it. It's not allowing me to drag it. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to remove that association. And I believe I can remove that association here.
If you right click there, and it should come up with delete. Remove or something like that.
Just bear with me. We'll get it right shortly. Okay, it has taken me into the store, into the epic. That's what it did. It took me into the epic. So I'm
Go
going
back to that screen you were on.
That's what I want to do.
On link will be somewhere.
Yeah.
That's the link, and I want to deassociate it.
So you see
that's what I'm saying. On
you
link.
See, no. You see that's dustbin basket there. Yeah. Right click on it. Yeah. So you've taken out the link.
Taking that out. Okay. I thought I was going to delete the story as well.
No.
Okay. So let's save that and let us see what happens to our story. User story updated. Okay. So where's user story 14 now? Otherwise, I'll just recreate it and get on with it. Can you see user story 14?
Well, except you want to use 2, it's the same thing as 2 in it.
Yeah, it's the same thing as step 2, story 2.
Okay, fine. So which means I have to go through that process again of what I did, which is okay. I don't like the way this thing is now behaving. It worked so well for me when I did the test, but never mind.
Maybe because you were not teaching them.
It worked really well for me.
It could also be the functionalities are not fully on this particular
That is it.
version.
Look at it. It's up here. I made my screen smaller and it is up here. Okay, so let me go to the sprint planning because I want to show you the view in, no, I wanted sprint planning. It's giving me something else. Let me go to sprint planning, which it will show me the double board. Okay, so now I want to drag story 14 into the sprint board. I can't see story 14 again.
I can't see it too here. Perhaps we should use 2.
Just use story 2 and
for the purpose of getting this done.
Okay, let me just take 2.
Let's use 2.
Let me take 2 and then drag it into the sprint.
Yeah.
Let me bring up the right sprint.
Yeah, sprint 1.
That should be sprint 1.
You right click on the sprint at the top, go up 1, yeah, and then select your sprint there.
Upcoming.
Untick sprint. Untick that one.
No, it's sprint 1 I want.
Yeah, so yeah, that's the one you need to tick.
Okay.
Yeah, now tick sprint 1. Yeah.
It's still showing. Okay, there you go. This is the view I was looking for, where you could see both. Okay, so I'm going to drag 2. This is the story, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to drag it into sprint 1. Wait, did it go back?
No, it didn't. It should be.
There you go. It's there. But is it in Phoenix or is it in Team 1? Look at what happened. You know, we already assigned the story to sprint 1.
So it changed to 14 then.
Can you see what happened?
Yeah.
We already assigned story 14 when I went into the detail. Do you remember when I went into the detail box?
Yeah.
I already assigned the story to sprint 14. That's why it wasn't showing on the product backlog anymore. Now I get it.
Okay.
Now I get it. Now I get it. Now I get it. Yeah, because I had said, so it had done it for me. It had already done it for me, whereas I was still looking for it. So as
but
you
the
can
problem
see,
is, I know we're not necessarily using this.
Yes.
But the thing is, if somebody wanted to go back and look at the product backlog for some reason, they should be able to see the full list.
Exactly.
And then it would have an option like if you move it, once you drag it, you can click on it to say done.
Yeah, Because
And then it should be
when
on
I
the
did
sprint.
mine, even after I populated the sprint backlog, I could still see what was on the product backlog. That's why
Yeah,
I'm
you should be
surprised it
able
didn't work.
to. Yeah,
But
That's
anyway,
you should be
let's
able
go
to.
on. That
Yeah,
should be
let's
the
go.
standard, but let's go on. Let's see. So anyway, we found our story. It is in sprint 14. So let me now go to the Scrum board. Let me go to the Scrum board. Now, as you can see, we created the project. We started populating. We created the project. We created sprint 1. We created sprint 2. We then populated the product backlog with epics and stories. Obviously, I'm still having problems with the link. So, but apparently...
No. You are not having problem because it's just that the wrong link sprint is selected. It should be sprint 1 and not sprint 2.
No. What happened was...
Not the 14.
No. What happened was I totally forgot that I had linked it to sprint 1 already. And because I had linked it to sprint 1 already, the system had moved story 14 to the sprint backlog for me, whereas I was still busy looking for it. But I understand what Grace is saying. We'll see what happens later. Okay. So later, I will still come back and link all the stories to the epic. I will do that on my own.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
When I have time,
but
yes.
This tax board you are showing us.
Yeah, this is the Scrum board.
No.
This
Scrum board. This Scrum board you are showing us. You need to go up to where it says the tax force sprint 2 and select sprint 1 so that we can actually see.
Of course.
For the dates, yeah.
Yes,
so
of course. So
that's a drop down arrow next to the date. No,
so this should be sprint 1, not sprint 2.
Yeah.
This should be sprint 1, not sprint 2. So where is the arrow to?
No, go close. Come out of this one. Click outside. So next to the date, select that, and you should be able to see. Why is
upcoming
it
sprint?
Yeah.
That's it. Sprint 1.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah, that's the board we need. Thank you.
That's the board. There we go. There we go. So now we have that story 2 we were looking for. Can you see it's duplicated? Now we have both of them in the sprint backlog. So all that while it had put it in the sprint backlog for us. So anyway, this is story 14. These are the tasks, okay? And we can create more tasks while we are here. So that is what we are going to do now. So I'm going to put everything in the sprint backlog so that everything can show up here now. I just wanted you to see this first. So let me go back to the product backlog. I'm going to go back to the product backlog, and I'm going to put everybody's story on the sprint backlog. When you have a new tool like this, without a doubt, so making sure I have the right sprint again. Make sure it's sprint 1. Okay, so I'm going to drag everything into.
My concern is, why is it making your sprint 2 as the active when it's even the date is not even nearby now?
It's making it what?
It's showing your sprint 2 as the active rather than sprint 1 to be the active.
But we haven't started any sprint, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it's showing, well, it shouldn't, because that's a bit, because it says up.
Oh, this is 1. It's 1 at the bottom.
You go into where you select, you go up right at the top. Yeah. So it's saying active. So if you go into active, your active string should be the one with the current date. With the
absolutely. That's because I ticked it. I think it's because of the tick. It's because of the tick by mistake.
Okay. All
so
right.
if I go here, and my upcoming sprint should be sprint 1. That's correct now, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sprint 1 tick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now I'm going to populate Phoenix with all the stories. You just drag and drop. That's all you do. Just drag and drop. Drag and drop into the sprint. Funny enough, I found it much easier to use, but I guess it's still new for me too. So let's see.
Can you, I was going to say, if you had a control down, can you not drag multiples at a time? Because what if you have like hundreds of stories?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will always find the shortcuts for these things because you don't want to do, but because I'm just doing a demo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
if you do.
Yeah. So if I pull this here, okay. And then I'm going to now go to the board, go to the Scrum board. Now, You are going to do all your tasks from the Scrum board. Again, I need to choose the right sprint. So you make sure you're in the right sprint. Okay, so
what we're doing, we are making an assumption
that
we're making an assumption that each story is DOR.
Oh, of course. We talked about that last time, that every story must be ready before it gets into the sprint. So as part of your sprint planning, while the product owner is saying, this is what I want, that is what I want, while we are having the conversation and we are sizing it, everything we are doing, we are sizing it at this point now because we have an idea of all the things we need to do. We are saying we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to do that. And because of that, I think it's a 5. Because of what you think needs to be done, you think it's an 8. So we have already tried to understand this story as much as possible. We are using the invest criteria. We make sure that the story is small. We make sure that the tester is making sure that they can test it. The developer understands how to develop it. And because we have made that assumption, like you said, all these stories have ended up in the sprint backlog. Does that make sense now?
Yeah, but we only left out the estimation part of it, yeah, for now.
No, the estimation part, I only use one example. No, we can still estimate it here, don't worry. I just want us to go as far as we can, because I will be the one to start the sprint tomorrow anyway. But I just want you guys to see as much as we can before we call it an evening today. So every time you put a story in the sprint backlog, there's a default board. And that default board is this sprint backlog, to do, in progress, and completed or done. You can change that to done if you want. To do, in progress, and done. And you would notice that the stories come into the backlog and you have a default task. It always comes up with a default task, because if I scroll down, look at that. There's a task for every single one. Can you see that? Each story has a task. Each story has a task. And you can then add more subtasks to it, because when you start moving, it is the stories, the task you will move, not the story itself. Because as soon as you put a story in the sprint backlog, it automatically creates a task for you as that story. That is why you see as an administrator repeated here, because it has automatically created a task for you. Now you can now create multiple tasks. You can create more tasks while you are here. Okay, you can create more tasks.
I think you have to anyway.
You have to.
I think, yes, you have to, because this story still needs to be different tasks to achieve it.
No, the story can just be all you want to do. A story might be so small that you don't need a task.
I know, but in this case, in our instances here,
yes, exactly.
These ones will go to tasks.
Exactly. So we need to create more tasks. Okay, I just collapsed that. You can make it bigger again. You can collapse it. You can make it bigger. So we can start the sprint here. I'm trying to create some more tasks. You can change the names. Mr. T is the owner of this task. Let me duplicate the task. Let's see what happens. Duplicate task. You see that? It has duplicated the task and it has given it another number. So you make it easy. So I'm going to go duplicate again. And I'm going to duplicate again. And as you can see, the number is increasing. Duplicate. So to make life easy, that is what we're going to do. And we're going to do it here. So for each story that belongs to you, all I need you to do is click on the 3 dots and click duplicate task. That's all you need to do. Identify your story, go to the story, go to the Scrum board, okay? We will come back and try and understand the hiccups we had with the sprint board and the epics and everything. We'll figure that one out. But what I want everybody to do is to come into this tool. When you come into this tool, make sure you are in the LBU project and duplicate your task. When you duplicate your task, it will put you can actually edit it to have your name. For example, Mr. T's name, I've just put TT so that you know it's your story, okay, to make life easy. Why are we creating tasks, at least 5 tasks, so that every day we are moving something? Every day we are moving something. And we also want to simulate what your velocity would look like. So it is important. So we need to size it. Let me see, we can size it here. So what you can do is click on your story. So we can do everything from this board. So just click on the tool and come to the Scrum board. When you get to the Scrum board, just give your story a size. Give your story a size, assign it to yourself, look for your name, assign it to yourself, and save it and close it. That's all you need to do. So as you can see, I just gave this one 2, and you can see the 2 is showing. Mr. T's story is number 3, okay? That is all you have to do, please. So Mr. T, I've practically done yours for you, but not until I start the sprint, we can't start moving things. See, if I try to move something, it will go back. If I try to move something, it will go back. It will tell me, see, if I try to move it, it says start the sprint. I need to start the sprint in order for me to be able to move anything. Okay, I need to start the sprint. Are we clear on what to do at this point? Just come to the Scrum board. Don't go anywhere else. Just come to the Scrum board, and then we're going to look at the dashboard shortly.
Yeah, because if you haven't actually done any work, why would you be moving?
No.
That's why it's telling you that, because you've
you
got
have
a
to
date
start
of
the
3rd
sprint.
August.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you haven't even
So,
started it. No, even though it is 3rd of August, I can start the sprint today and I'll be able to move it. But I'm not going to start it.
But you
today.
haven't started this. Yeah.
Exactly.
But you haven't started it.
Exactly. So by tomorrow morning, when I open this tool, I will then see that you have all populated, because I want us to have a feel of it. The more we use it, the more we will understand it. So we need to make sure everybody can come in. That's our starting point right now before I even start looking at the dashboard. We need to make sure everybody has access to this tool. Mr. T, you are okay, right? Can everybody else try to make sure that they have access?
Okay.
Last time I tried, I didn't.
As you can see, you have you are in the tool, Grace. You are in the tool. Your name is there. So everybody should be sure they have access. Dodie, can you please try?
I understand that I'm on the thing, and I got the link, but when I went in, it said you cannot do anything because you do not have the full subscription.
But maybe that was because I hadn't assigned you to any project. Now that I have assigned you to a project, it should be okay. So can we please test that everybody can come in and go to the Scrum board and do something?
Yeah, I'm using my mobile device now, so I can't use the tool.
Would you have access to a laptop later?
Yes, yes, in next 1 hour I should.
Okay, is that Henry?
Yes, Henry.
Okay.
I'm using my mobile as well, but what's the name of the tool? Scrum, Quick Scrum?
Quickscrum.com.
I think I received an email from them just now telling me I have access.
Yeah, because I have given you access. I made sure I give everybody access. So I need to make sure everybody can log in, except you're having problems, of course. If you're having problems, let me know, but I need to make sure everybody can log in. Let me share my screen again. Somebody's typing something. Okay, Sylvia is saying she'll have to go. So, I mean, please get back to me tonight if you're having problems. Send me a message via WhatsApp. So this is what I need you to do when you get into the tool. When you get into the tool, go to the LBU project. Make sure you're in sprint 1. Just be careful what you click so that you don't delete the project. You don't have access to delete anyway. I'm the only administrator. Make sure you're in sprint 1 and that you can see all these things. And by the way, I can add more columns if I wanted. Okay, but I'll keep it simple. For example, we can add validation, we can add testing, we can add so many things. Do you see where I'm coming from? I think what I will do is I will add 2 more columns, but I'll do that in my own time. I don't want to keep you here waiting. I'll do that in my own time. I'll add 2 more columns.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mary, I couldn't even find it because.
Can you share the link again, please?
Yes, please, because I couldn't even find it. I put Quick Scrum in. It was giving me the video, the demo. Well, I remember that I received.
It was coming error for me too.
Okay. Let's just understand what to do, and then I'll make sure once we close the meeting, you can communicate with me via WhatsApp, and I'll make sure you have access. Is that okay? So let's just be sure what we need to do first. So once you enter the tool, go to LBU, go to the Scrum board, because everything we can do everything from the Scrum board. Everything, just like Jira, we can complete our information on the Scrum board. So you can just create a story and just give it a name and push it on your Scrum board and come and complete everything on your Scrum board, okay? So click on the story while you are on your Scrum board. Identify your story from the Google Docs. Identify your story. When you click on it, it will bring you to the full form for that story. Pick 1, 2, or 3 as your size. Make sure it is sprint 1. It is in this sprint. Well, it is anyway, because we've moved it into sprint 1. So by default, it is already in sprint 1. And make sure you choose your name. Click on this and your name should be there. Everybody's name is there. So everybody should have access, okay? And the status should be to do. So you can take a picture of this if you like. You can take a picture of it with your phone. Make sure it is to do. Put it in to do, okay? And just close it. We are not bothering ourselves with the hours. Just close it. Do that and close it. And then when you now get back to this Scrum board, just duplicate the default task. You will have a default task under to do. Click on the 3 dots and just say duplicate. Please have 5 stories, or should we say 6 stories? Maybe, I think 5 is enough, because we're going to be moving it slowly, slowly, slowly. We move it to in progress, and then again, we move it to validation, and then we move it to testing over a 2-week period. And then
what do you mean? Sorry, what do you mean by have 5 stories? I think we'd have more than that.
Sorry, task is what I meant. Duplicate the task.
Okay.
I meant
all
task.
right.
So for example, if I click here and I say duplicate the task, because I don't want us to bother ourselves with what doesn't add value to us. So if I duplicate that, I will have another task there, okay? So it is those tasks that we are going to be moving on a daily basis, because these are things we need to do in order for us to achieve this story. In order for this story to be done, these are the various things I need to do. Don't worry that we are just duplicating one story. Don't worry about that. Like I said, let's worry about the process, okay? So come here. You can, if you like, you can create a task, one task if you like, or just duplicate this task to make life easy for yourself. And you will find that it is taking the next sequence number. So do that for all your stories. You identify your stories and do that, please. So now let me come out of here.
Mary,
let me go. Yeah.
Sorry, Mary, can I come in? I've just literally gone into my inbox to log on.
Okay.
And it has taken me in, but it's saying that my validation is expired, so I need to pay.
Don't worry,
I'm
going to pay. Don't worry, I'm the one paying. I'm paying it.
I think that was what I got too.
So
yeah.
Maybe that's what you go to. I'll pay for it. I'll send a message to WhatsApp group so that you all know that I paid for it.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
I think maybe that's a problem then. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me go to the dashboard. Is this part simple enough? This part here, is it simple enough?
Yeah.
Yes, very.
Okay, good enough. So let me go to the dashboard. For the dashboard, we're going to pick some gadgets. For example, the sprint burn down, the, let me pick the right, let me go to add gadgets. So we're going to pick sprint burn down. Now, when you click on sprint burn down, it will tell you, do you want your burn down in hours or in story points? I want it in story points. So I'm going to click on story points, yes, okay? So it has taken that. Then what else do I want? I want velocity.
Mary, when you selected it, you asked it to include weekend.
No, I don't want weekend though.
Exactly.
No. So save. Okay. Oh, no. Hold on. Phoenix. I'm going to select Phoenix. Yeah. Phoenix. Save. I also want velocity, so I'm going to click on velocity. Okay, I think it's selected. Then let's take 3. Let's see what else we can take. Let us take sprint burn up as well. Include weekend, no. Phoenix, yes. Why didn't the velocity give me a chance to, or did I not click it properly? Anyway, it says it's selected. What else can we take? Let's take 4. So we have sprint burn down, burn up. Let's take task summary. That should be okay. That's okay. So now all that is done. If I go to the dashboard overview, there's nothing there right now because we have not started the sprint.
Again, you're looking at sprint 2. You need to look at Because it's selected sprint 2 as your active rather than sprint 1. So there is an issue.
But she changed that.
Yeah, no. She changed it manually, but it should. I think it needs to be changed somewhere. The system needs to appreciate. Yeah.
It keeps taking sprint 2 as
your default.
Okay, let's create your customized dashboard. Let's call it LBU. LBU. Save. Add gadgets, yes. So where's my sprint now to select? LBU, yes. No, I don't want to add gadgets.
What about sprint planning?
Go back to overview.
Because you can name your board. I should be able to name my board because you can have so many sprints running.
So it looks okay here, but except that it's showing sprint 1. So yeah, sprint 2. So but you need to select sprint 1.
That's it here.
Yeah.
No problem.
Can you go to sprint planning? Because I don't know. I'm just suggesting. It's not because I know. Yeah.
The only thing we have in the sprint backlog now is the epic.
So
everything is in the sprint planning.
No. Come to
to the right, to the right hand side.
Right, to the right side. Okay.
Right.
So, go up. You need to scroll up. There you are. Change that. There is one high there. You need to.
But I keep changing it. I don't know why it keeps doing that.
So there is something. It's looking as it needs to look at sprint 1 as your active and
yes.
Sprint upcoming.
So active. No, my active should be sprint 1.
Yes, that's it. So you've ticked sprint 2.
Okay, it's changing it now. Let's see whether it works.
No,
I don't know.
No.
Or maybe you have to go to.
Do you have to right click there? Right click.
Hold on. Let me click this arrow. This should be my active. This is my active.
Okay, so
sprint 1 is my active. So let me go back to the Scrum board.
Hold on. Before you go into there, the 3 dots on to the right.
Here?
Yeah, let's see where if it gives you the option to select your.
So delete and all that retrospective. And I don't want to start it yet. And I have not started sprint. So let me go back to the Scrum board. Let's see. Let's be sure that we have sprint 1 on the Scrum board, which I believe we did. You see, it's gone back to 2.
So
it was sprint 1 before, you know.
So use the drop-down arrow to select. No. The drop-down arrow.
Can you see what is happening here? See what is happening.
Yes, Mary. When you selected it,
yeah,
previously, your the active was not highlighted. So that means that your active is still sprint 2.
I see what has happened. I started sprint 2. That's what's happened here.
When you went to change it to 1, you have to make sure that the active is green, it's highlighted, but it wasn't highlighted.
I'm
not sure if it's a bug, but it wasn't highlighted.
No, it wasn't a bug. I made a mistake. I started sprint 2. No, I started sprint 2 because it's asking me to complete sprint 2. Can you see that? So I'm going to complete sprint 2. Okay. I'm going to complete it and I'm going to say yes, backlog, move stories to the backlog. And I'm going to ignore whatever it gives me. That is the mistake I made. But because I didn't know I had started sprint 2, I was just confused that it's defaulting to sprint 2.
Yeah, well, it was confused.
Yes. No.
You did it last. You did sprint 1 first and then sprint 2 second.
Yes, which should not have. So this is sprint 1 now. So this is our sprint. So I shouldn't have bothered creating sprint 2. I should have just created sprint 1 and do it one at a time, especially when one is still getting used to the 2. So now we have our Scrum board. Thank God that is still there. So let's go back to the dashboard. Let's see if we will have the right current sprint now. Okay, so let's add the gadgets for burn down, no weekends, Phoenix, save. We take velocity for LBU, velocity, then burn up, we take burn up, Burn up, don't, yeah, that's fine. So save. And then one more. Let's just take 4. Let's take task summary. Task summary that's added. And then maybe project, let me see. Let's do one more. I've done velocity. Let's do story completion rate. Story completion rate. Depending on what you want to measure, okay? What is important for us. So that is done. So if I go to the project,
that sprint completion thing, is it not
okay,
similar to burn down chart?
No, the rate, I guess the rate at which it's completing on a daily basis is similar to the burn up and burn down. So as you can see, there are no information here right now. I have created the gadgets, but there is nothing there right now. When we start moving our stories, we will begin to see a pattern for the burn up and for the burn down for the LBU, which is taking the information of sprint 1. That is where we are going to stop today. I know it was a bit of a drag because of the learning of the tool, but I hope.
But it's good.
But I hope, yeah. But I hope we've come to a point where we are comfortable a little bit at least, and we've learned as we go along. So what I'm going to do once I take a bit of a break now, I'll come back to the tool. I will add validation and testing to this column. So we will have to do in progress, testing, validation, and completion. So we will have five columns.
Additional columns.
Yes, no, 2 more columns to make it 5. Now, here is what we're going to do to move forward. Please, if you are confused, let me know so that I can explain again and again and again. Sprint planning, let us assume sprint planning has just completed. So we've done sprint planning. The product owner has told us what she wants us to achieve for this sprint. So we have a goal for this sprint.
Why was the product? Why was it being sheet? No, just joking.
No, it's a sheet today.
No, just joking.
So she's told us what she wants us to do. She wants a landing page.
Is that Franca or Sylvia?
No, Grace. Grace is our product owner, and Ndidi is our Scrum Master. So she wants us to have a landing page, and she wants a user to have the ability to sign in. The reason I'm saying this is next weekend we're going to design what we are going to demo at the sprint review to satisfy our product owner. Because we must meet the goal of the product owner. So that is what we're going to do at the sprint review. But for you, once you have access, I want you to come here, duplicate your task, make sure you create maybe 5 or 6 tasks or even 7. And what you will then do tomorrow is move your task from to do to in progress, and maybe another one to testing.
Completed. Okay.
Just let's move them slowly, and then eventually move everything completed by the end of 2 weeks.
Okay.
But every day we will move something from one column to the other, because
our sprint is 2 weeks, right?
Our sprint is 2 weeks.
So if we are moving one like every day, that means by day 5 we'll have completed. So
no, by day 10. By day 10.
Okay.
So if you just keep moving bit by bit. So every day, I just want you to come into this tool, log into it whenever it's convenient for you. Log into it and move it. So that I want you to start seeing a pattern in the gadgets. The gadgets we just selected. I want us to start seeing a pattern. Don't forget to size your stories. You must size your stories. Like I said, click on it and just choose 1, 2, or 3. Okay? 1, 2, or 3. Okay, so now the product owner has told us what she wants. We, the developers, we are now looking at the task that we need to do in order for us to complete that story. Okay, we are looking at the task that we need to work on in order for us to complete the story, and we are duplicating those tasks, just for the sake of it. We don't want to waste time on that. Now, this is where our daily stand-up now starts. From tomorrow, we will have what we call a daily stand-up. After taking a bit of a break, I'm going to send you what we call a daily stand-up best practice. It's just 1 page.
Okay.
A daily stand-up best practice. I'm going to send it to you. Every day, Before COVID, what we used to do was maybe our meeting is 9:30 every day, or maybe our meeting is 10 o'clock every day. We meet at the same place at the same time for 15 minutes. And the whole point of that is to create clarity, shared understanding, and progress. To say, okay, Dodie, how far now? Mary, how far now? Are you having any problems? You will see it in the document I'm sending to you. We are supposed to do that every day, but I'm not going to bother you with it. There's no need. But know that we are supposed to do it. I won't bother because I know we're all busy. That's why I'm sending you the document, because I will not bother doing it. But I'm sending you that document. I want you to read it. I want you to understand it. That ideally, we should be meeting 9 o'clock every day, or 9:30 every day, or 10 o'clock every day to do what is in that best practice paper that I am sending to you. So all I request of you is that we complete our task, we duplicate it, and we start to move it until we finish moving it on, which is the upper Friday, isn't it? The upper Friday. That is all. That is all I ask of you. That is all I ask of you. And then if we have any problems, talk to me on WhatsApp. Is that okay?
Mary, please, can I come in?
Yes, please, Dele.
Can you check on this list? I think my task is 11.
Okay,
I'm number 10 and it should be 11. I created already.
Okay, let me refresh so we can see.
Yeah.
I'm refreshing it now. Please, if you don't have access, let me know.
If you're number 10, your story would really be story 11. Because
I know that. That's what I just said. But I'm 11. I'm number 10.
Okay. Dele, as a staff member of LBU, I want to be able to log in so I can do my work. Is that your story?
Yeah.
Okay, so just duplicate your stories.
10.
And I can see
you
have
already.
sized
That's
it.
why I'm saying that. Can you see them? I did already. I did all
view
that.
more. Okay, it's telling me to view more. Correct. I can see it. Can you guys
see
it?
Wow, Dele has done her.
Yes, Dele has done
Okay, wait. Can I ask a question, please?
Yes.
How do you now move on to the... So everything is in to do right
another
now.
column.
Everything is in to do. Not until I start the sprint, you can't move anything.
Okay. So I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. So tomorrow morning, once I start the sprint, I will send a message that I have started the sprint.
Okay.
In addition, Mary,
yes,
to enable us come to terms with sprint planning, the normal stand-up, the daily stand-up meeting, whoever master, I think, should be able to just say something so that some of us can quickly respond to him. I mean, just to...
Okay, let me tell you, let me tell you what will happen. We will, during our lesson, we will talk more about daily stand-up and what happens and what the Scrum Master does. But Monday to Friday, I don't want to bother you people. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
I want you guys to just come here and move a task. I don't want you to try and be bringing everybody together for daily stand-up. I don't think you need that stress. It's up to you. What I have done in the past with my students is that every day somebody just says something on WhatsApp, I've moved my task. But if you are just going to be saying I've moved my task every day, what's the point? What's important is that you understand that we can do one daily stand-up. We can do a stand-up on Saturday. What we can do is when we meet on Saturday, we do a stand-up. How about that?
We practice. We practice it.
Yes.
That was the idea behind my suggestion. Really.
Okay, that's fine, Mr. T. So on Saturday when we meet, we will do a stand-up. But ideally, your stand-up should be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, same place, same time. And I'm going to send you a best practice document, just one page. Please read it. Please read it. So, so let me let you guys go. I just want to be sure that you understand this page, you understand what to do. Once you have access, you come in here, go to LBU project, go to Scrum board and do your thing. Just duplicate your task. And once I start the sprint, we'll be able to move it on.
Okay. So Mary, please.
Mary, before you go, do we have access to the list of tasks and everything? To the Google Docs?
Go there and see. Go there and see because I gave you access. I'm sharing my screen again now. Look at your name here. Your name should be there. Look at your name. Dele Kuku. Look at that. Felicia, everybody is there.
Actually, I saw mine yesterday. Somebody sent it to me.
Let me just do something. Let me show you something before you disappear. Let me go back to the tool. Let me show you something before you go. Let me go to this place here. Okay. Can you see the tool? Can you see me? Can you see the tool I mean?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can.
Let me make it bigger.
Yes.
Okay. I want to show you something. You see these 3 lines here? If I click on it, you see what is coming up. Team review, team retrospective, stand-up board. We're going to use that on Saturday. But you see this discussion board here. This discussion board, I'm going to put the links. I'm going to create a discussion. I'm going to go add discussion. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say Phoenix capital. I'm going to say Phoenix what? Artifacts. That's what I'm going to call it, okay? I'm going to call it Phoenix Active, and then I'm going to come here. Let me copy the link from Google Docs, copy. I'm going to put it there. Let me now, all members can see it. Then I can even, I will share my screen in a moment. Don't worry, Mr. T. Let me save it. I'm going to save it. Okay, so Dele, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
I see it.
So now if you click on this link, if you click on it, it will take you to the, it should
Google
take
Docs.
you to the Google Docs. Why is it not taking me direct? It took me the other day.
Because you haven't actually entered. I think it will highlight in blue when you enter.
Exactly. Okay, I didn't
on that
enter.
other screen. Yeah, on that other screen. Yeah, on this screen.
Okay,
let's see what happens.
Let me go back. Oh no, maybe I didn't save it.
No, just when you copied it, you need to enter something like that.
I didn't
so
save
it. Will...
Yeah, let me go back. Okay, this is the.
Oh, I thought it brought up a palm just now.
Or is it because I have it open already? Let me close them.
Oh yeah, it's possible.
Let me close them. Let me close them. Maybe it's because I have it on already. Okay, let me try now. Because I did it the other day and it worked.
It should be coming up with a hand now. But
let me go to edit. Let me go to edit first and then. There you go. That's it. I didn't press enter. That's why. So save. So let me save it.
And then it will work as a link now.
Exactly, because I tested it and it worked. Okay, so
yeah,
now Dele.
Now it's a link because
yes. So if I click on this now, it will take me to the Google Docs. Can you see that?
Yeah, and actually, Mary, what it did was it also sent me an email telling me that a message has been posted for me to
yes, it will normally do that. It will normally
do that. I just got an email.
So it's very collaborative.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
So what I'm going to do...
Are you then able to go into it further?
You mail us the link.
Yes. No. I will make sure I add all the links to the tool so that you don't have to be going to Google Docs. You can just click it if you want to see any document. So all the 3 links we are using on Google Docs will be in that discussion board. Does that make sense? Not that you need it anyway at the moment.
Okay, quick one, Mary.
Yes.
So for the quick form, you created our account. Do we have a password or what is the password?
You get a link. That's all you need. You get an invite or something. That's all.
Okay. I got the invite. I went there. It's asking me to either register or...
Don't worry, I need to pay for it now. I don't know why it's saying that. I don't know how Mr. T did it and Mr. T got in. Everybody is supposed to
maybe he gave you a limit.
Even though Mr. T is not so savvy technically.
You're getting the hang of it.
But don't worry,
actually,
you are doing the beta test for us.
I just did mine today.
Mary, are you done?
Okay, Dele, what did you do? Sorry, Sylvia.
I just did it as well. I went to the link they sent to me, and then they put the pass, and it told me to put my name, to log in, put my name, and add a password. And I did that, and it brought me in.
Okay, please check everybody should check their, because I did this thing a few days ago. I didn't do it today.
I've done all of that, Mary. I think we probably logged in a bit too late, something like that. But
I don't think so.
Sylvia, I only logged in today. I
don't have it either. I had one, but
I've
now I can't
created
even
a
find it.
password. I've got a password and everything. and the tool is there, but it won't let me access it. So
Dele, when did I send the link to you?
You sent it the same day you sent that email to everybody. Let me just
Can you tell us the date, please, so that everybody can tell?
Not from you. I got it from somebody called Adam something.
Yes, I got it also from that Adam
Pearson, not you, Mary. It didn't come from
Adam
you.
I know, but I activated it. That's why it came from them. I initiated it. Sure, you get. I initiated it that I want all these names to have access.
Yeah.
So I got it on July 27th.
Well, I got that too, but I don't have access to that board. Is it the Adam that would have sent me the email, the link before?
No, you see, when I try to give people access, they have to then send you an email.
Send it, yeah.
I got you. I've seen it, actually.
Okay, they will then send you an email. Then you do whatever you need to do with that email.
Yes.
And then come into this tool. When you now come to this tool, make sure you go to LBU, because I have given Phoenix and your names access to this project, which is LBU.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I now have access.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's telling me
to have to create a password and username. So,
that is it. That is it.
So should I use my regular?
It's up to you, whatever password you want to use, as long as you remember it and it brings you in. And then please just do what I've asked that we should do. I'm going to take a break now. I'll come back. I'll populate it with more columns. And then tomorrow morning, I will start it. And I will also send you the, convert this video, send it to you, send the best practice daily stand-up to you. And that's it. And then we'll be talking on WhatsApp if we have any problems. And then on Saturday, we will do a daily stand-up so that we can experience a daily stand-up.
Thank you very much.
I'm tired. I'm sure you guys are tired too.
Thank you, Mary. God bless you.
I know.
An experience.
All right. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you are enjoying it.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Good. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Mary.
Have a great week.
Take care. Stop recording.